Hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of Card Speak. It's your boy Nate, and here today I'm very excited for our guest because he's one of my oldest friends in poker. We go back to grinding together, man, nearly 20 years ago, back in the day.
Maybe more than,
Yeah, maybe more
actually.
than, for sure.
Yeah.
But,
We met on the rail in the 11 rebuy on Poker Stars.
Oh, man, what a
That
great tourney.
isn't that true, right? Like you
Probably.
were
My memory's a little
yeah,
fuzzy, to be honest, but
because you used to play in that tournament where you would just go all in until you get the big stack, which was
right.
stupid, but everyone did it.
Yeah, we didn't.
And then
So
but you get
foolish.
these huge stacks and yeah, there was a time period where I think you made that final table quite a bit.
That was my first big one, really.
It was your first big
That
final
was my
table.
first, I chopped it heads up. That was my first, I can quit my job now, final table. So that was nice. Yeah.
Back then it was like 14 something, right? 15K like for first. How much was it?
Yeah. I got about 10 grand in the chop. So
yeah. It was definitely a 5-figure score though.
Yeah. I was making like $10 an hour. I'm like, well, fuck that. I just made like 6 months income. I'm gonna do this instead.
Such a good plan.
Yeah.
I just made 10K. Fuck you, job.
Yeah, well, I mean, financially, it worked fine, at least for like a few years. Oh, that's great. Anyway, to finish our intro, he's a popular streamer. He's written a high stakes online pro mostly, written a book. You probably all know him as Apestyles, but he's still my friend John to me. So please welcome John Van Fleet.
My bad for cutting you off.
It's all good, man. No, this is what I mean. Like, we just go, and whatever happens, happens. Also, every time I've done an intro, I keep acting like there's a live audience when there's not. Like, I don't know who was supposed to clap after I said that.
Really? I really wish that I had that sometimes, because that's a problem with me sometimes when I'm streaming or I'm trying to make content.
Yeah.
I have to envision that there's somebody there that I'm talking to. Otherwise, it feels just stiff or kind of weird,
Yeah. I think.
But you got a whole laugh track and everything.
Yeah, I think maybe I should put one in. Yeah, like mentally, I'm like a talk show. I'm turning into a talk show host. I guess right when there's no more late night, I'm gonna be like, yeah, here's my guest, and
that. Could you see yourself doing that? That actually,
I like talking to people. I like interviewing people, and I'll talk about whatever. I like to think I've got enough of a wide range of interest and knowledge, and I'm not shy. I got nothing to hide either. So I'm like, yeah, ask me anything, man. I'll be happy to answer.
I was trying to think about that. Do I have anything to hide? I mean, a little bit, not hide. I'm pretty open about my journeys and stuff, but for instance, I've been pretty open about struggling with addiction, up and down with that.
I understand that
and
sure.
Actually,
on a personal level, I do understand that.
I went right in there. I went right in. I know. I'm
open
about that. I'm open about most things, although I do try to kind of, my mom watches. I try to keep it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it is important for me as I've gotten older to do my best to be more genuine and authentic, and own even the things about myself that people might judge or whatever, and just be who I am,
Yeah, absolutely. And same. I mean, for me, so I'll talk about anything. I guess about the only thing I won't do is bad mouth my family members or my wife, specifically. I might tell a story because last episode I told a story about one interaction I had with one of them, but didn't name who it was. I'm not going to do that, which is especially in the position I'm in. Having one family member more famous than me. People always want to know about that. So,
I was one of those people. We're not going to get into that because I actually felt bad about that.
Yeah. Well, you can ask me. I mean, especially if you want to talk off the show. But
yeah, we're not going to get into it. But I know you've got I know that you've got a brother that wrote a show that I like. Mm-hmm. You probably hear about that too much, and I'm not going to be that dude. Because that's probably annoying as shit. Yeah, for me, before I started streaming, I
Hmm.
kind of got looped in by Jordan. He was like, my personal philosophy when I stream
Oh yeah.
is I don't actually like talk shit about people. I don't like
Hmm.
if you say something negative about somebody, it's coming back. Like
Right. Oh,
you'll
for
hear about it,
sure.
dude.
Yeah.
And now for what you're doing, you kind of want that, right? Because like you kind of want to have something controversial that pops you off, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that 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 that. But for me, my I don't know. I'm just trying to play poker. I don't want to get focused on
Oh
drama with
yeah, and
people.
like
Like,
for me, for the most part, like trying to keep it friendly, trying to keep it positive, but willing to go deep. But yeah, there is always the back pocket. Like, do you want to hear the real story of Nick or whoever? And
the
I'm like,
reals.
if I want to hold on to that, maybe if this doesn't work out, I'll just start writing tell-alls or something. Um, but yeah, it hasn't been
See,
as annoying of late. I was just gonna say those first couple years, there's a lot of either people confusing him for me, like on the internet or whatever, or wanting to get in touch with him through me. Those are kind of annoying. Or seeing a bunch of people on the internet like talk shit about him, not really knowing who he is at all. Like you like the show or you don't, that's one thing. But like just making up stuff about him to that gets annoying. But you gotta learn to tune that out, right?
yeah. I just like the reason I felt weird is because
Yeah,
I could tell, like when I brought it up with you. Well, I think we were in Vegas at the
yeah,
bar or something, and I could tell that you're like, like talk about my brother, like, and I
yeah.
was like, I don't want to be one of those people that does like the boring generic thing. Like, I don't want to be one of those people that
Yeah.
ask the tall guy if they play basketball, or
Mm-hmm.
like just like just says the thing that people always hear,
Yeah.
or makes that same joke. So that's why I was like, very tedious of you to.
No, it's all good, man. Because like, yeah, you're actually a pro. You don't know. It's just like when it's people I don't really know as well. People only want to know me because of that, or that's when it gets
Oh
annoying.
no, no,
And I did,
I
and cool thing, I did work on season 3. I don't remember if I told you that when we met.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty low level, but it was still a blast to be part of. Um,
awesome, man.
yeah, cool to see how everything works. I remember I had a funny conversation with riding in the car. He's like, "Yeah, did you know how many people it takes?" I was like, "No." Like, you watch the credits at the end of a TV show or whatever. You see all these names. Like, what do these people even do? How do you possibly need this many people? And then you watch an actual set and production and filming. You're like, oh, that's why you need these many people. Like, damn, you really do. It's crazy.
Well, now I'm curious about what all goes into it.
I mean, just because you have to have not only like everything. You got to have not only everyone on the crew, lighting, mic, sound, mixing mics, actors, obviously, directors, producer, all the little things. People bring people into the wires, grips and best boys and whatnot. And I don't remember all the titles, but you got to have everyone. You also have to have enough of them that when you're like, say, doing like shot reverse shot kind of scene, where say it's two people talking, one and the other, like they have to be able to move. You have to have enough people to be able to move the entire like camera rigs around to the other side quickly, so you're not wasting time on set.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of all that, you got the production office, which sort of keeps everything humming and keeps all the logistics offset running, and that's got a dozen people maybe or more. Include probably more if you count like the accounting department too and everything, and so yeah, there's just so much to it. But then you look, it's like none of these, no, I don't feel like anyone here is here like well maybe except me. It's just here's a favor, just to give somebody a job. Like they're all doing stuff. I mean, I did stuff too, but they're all like they know what they're doing. They're all necessary. It's wild just how much goes into it that you wouldn't even think about from the end product, really, if you
It
didn't.
never works to say something like "Let's not talk about that," does it? Because
Immediately gonna start talking. No, it's fine. I don't mind talking about my experiences. I just don't want people are gonna be like what's your relationship with him, or could you pass him my script? I'm like, yeah, I'll do you a favor. I'll tell him. It's like, yeah, he's not gonna read it, whether or not I do.
exactly.
So
you realize as a social media guy, like, a lot of the times I'm just trying to get people to click things.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to get people to click things. To read a whole script, you realize what you're asking me to do? No.
Yeah, right? Like, that's so much. And, he's busy working on his own stuff. I don't think he really wants to bother
No,
with other
no.
people's work.
I did love the first season.
Mm,
I loved Matthew McConaughey's character.
yeah.
I like I like myself a bit of a, like, I guess, a bit of a nihilist.
Yeah.
I so I thought the writing was really cool, and all of them.
Yeah.
I haven't actually like seen the third yet.
Oh, yeah. I like the
But I
third.
will now that
Definitely biased.
good reminder.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I think yeah.
I was just
Shit.
going to say, oh, you got something?
Just trying to think what I was to say, and I'm
No,
like,
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I was going to say, I have a friend who thinks.
what's the brand new thing?
Oh, no, I said I have a friend who thinks McConaughey's character was kind of based on me, but flipping from, optimism to nihilism, basically. And it's like, maybe. Or maybe that's just how he and I are similar.
Do you think, would you view yourself like you're that kind of a Nietzsche kind of like nihilist kind of dude, or do you
Not
think?
well, like I said, like you said, flipping my optimism to nihilism, and like my optimism isn't even just like, Pollyanna, everything's gonna work out. It's just like you got to keep trying. You can't give up because you don't know what will work out. Like the only thing you can really do wrong is give up. I think.
I love that, man. I actually think that a lot of people on my stream call me positive, and it's because I when I lose something big, I'll be like, fuck. But then I quickly talk myself out of it, where I'm like, okay, that happened. And then sometimes I have to actually, practice like counterweights, be like, talk about what I'm grateful for, be like, yo, I'm sitting in this beautiful office playing poker. Like, I can't be, oh, boo-hoo me. Like, I have
Yeah.
everything I need, so I do kind of like, yeah, try to keep it upbeat. But that's actually just, to me, that's just smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's not actually necessarily like everything's gonna be okay when it maybe won't be. It's more just like I have two choices at this point. I can be like bitter and pissed off and not focus on my tables, or I can get back into the game and focus.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm called positive, I'm like, not exactly like, I'm not Mr. like put a bow on everything kind of guy, but I don't know. I prefer, I guess I lean towards optimism, although, or anything. I probably I'd like to say realism. I mean, I really identified with Buddhism for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's more,
I like Buddhism.
Just looking at things as they are, but also trying to cultivate like compassion and presence around it,
Yeah, for me, like, I definitely have. With poker, it's come and gone. There have been times I've been better at it than others, and times I still really struggle with and a lot of it's mindset. I don't know. My last guest was Lucky Chewy. I don't know if you got to hear that, but we talked about some of this stuff, both in like a lot of it's how you frame your mindset, and something else we both talk about and believe in, and this ties to my optimism, is the ripple effect. It's like you don't know. Even if the thing you do doesn't work out the way you want, you don't know what effect it's going to have. You don't know. Maybe it inspires someone else. Maybe something a long time down the road it pays off. I'm not going to tell the story. I was like, I have a story that I like these examples. Like, I literally told it the last episode. I don't know if I should again, but just a song.
Well, can you just summarize it?
Yeah, well, a songwriter, wasn't, Nick Lowe, songwriter, British songwriter from the 70s, wrote my song, pretty good, but not like rich, still kind of working class kind of guy. About 15 years after he wrote What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. I don't know if you've heard it. The Elvis Costello's version is the most famous. About 15 years after that, one day he gets £1 million royalty check in the mail. And it's like, what? Why? Where'd this come from? Turns out someone else covered that song for the soundtrack to The Bodyguard. which, because I Will Always Love You sold like 20 million copies, right? So he wrote a song on a 20 million copy selling album, so he gets a shitload of royalties. It's like, you never know what you do is going to pay out, whether, obviously in that case financially, but in so many ways, you never know.
I've actually had, quite a few things like that happen where I say yes to things no matter what. Like even like this. If you say, hey, will you come on my podcast? Why the hell not?
Cool.
And I do enough stuff like that I have had lots of gifts come back. The other thing is to succeed at what I did, I have to be not a realist to some degree, right? Because I'm like, yo, there's this gambling game that only 5% of people can make a real living on, and maybe 25%, break even or win.
Right.
And I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be top. That's my goal. And that's kind of a silly goal. In fact, a lot of people told me that no, you should, that's not what you want to invest your time in. But I knew, and that was probably good advice, to be honest. But
yeah.
I knew what I wanted to do, and I was going to do whatever it took in my mind to make that happen. And I believe that if you have that mind state where it's a little bit obsessive, but if you have that mind state, I believe you can get really good. That's how good things happen, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So also, other times things fall in people's laps, but
right. Sometimes you get lucky.
I do. Yeah.
Exactly. You got to keep track. You're right. It is a little crazy to have that belief, that you can, make it at this. And that reminds me of when I was starting out and first got in a heater with my buddy about a year before, really about 6 months before I started playing tournaments seriously. And then it was 6 months more before I could had that stars win and quit my job. But we got in a heater online, and it didn't last. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was like, man, I think I could learn this, and I think I could make a living, much more money at this than anything else I could be doing. And of course, everyone around me, friends, family, most of them, with a couple of exceptions, are like, what are you doing that for? You could, that's risky. That's not it. It's like, well, sometimes not taking the risk is the risk, or at least in my case, I don't have any better prospects, and this is something I think I'd be really good at, and I went from in a year's time from not having a job and sleeping on my friend's couch. Well, okay, more than a year for that, sleeping on my friend's couch, to now I can quit my job because I'm doing so well at this,
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no.
Okay. That's the thing for me. It's just I'm willing to, if I believe in something, I can commit to it. Whether or not it seems a big risk or a huge change or whatever. I don't fear change. It's inherent to life, even moving up here to Colorado, it's just I'm gonna find a job. I'm ready to get out of Houston. I'm gonna find a job. I don't, it'll be something. I don't know what it'll be yet. But I want to be here, and honestly, it's been great for me, just from a health standpoint.
I like that, man. I guess I was kind of the same way. When Black Friday happened, first thing I did was I'm out of here. I'm gonna leave the country. I play online poker.
Yeah.
And I actually when I was younger, I was pretty lost when I was up until around 21, 22. I was doing a lot of drugs and I went to rehab, and then I failed out of college. I wanted to at first nothing stood out to me as being super interesting, and I knew I didn't want to do a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
So I was going to be a music producer / DJ, and I realized one day I suck at this. I don't have a good musical ear. I'm actually not talented.
Yeah.
And it actually came kind of crashing down on me, because I was working hard, and I just noticed that unlike other things, it wasn't coming to me very easy. And I actually taught a friend how to DJ, and they got better than me. And I was just this isn't my thing. And then I was what does interest me? And I was human behavior psychology, sociology. So I did get a degree in psychology, but a degree in psych is your only job waiting for you is Starbucks. And so I my last year of college I found poker. Before that it was chess, and chess was the only thing that really lit me up before poker. And I just knew when I found poker this is it. This is the like where the way I get to avoid a real job.
Yes. I
Yes.
feel like the same, like avoiding a real job is a big motivator for me. I'm still trying, you know. Hopefully this takes off so that we can continue to do that. People,
Good luck, man.
thanks, man.
I hope that for you. I could not see myself like even being a sponsored pro with sites.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take very well to people who think that they're my boss.
Yeah. I get that.
It's not like it's not, I hope it's not an arrogant thing. It's like, I don't view people as below me, but I don't view people as above me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like, if you start talking real, like a little bit like aggressive with me, I'm gonna let you know, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you don't talk to me like that, dude.
For sure, man.
And but anyway, like I actually just learned that I'm getting better with it, and I'm getting better at putting down my ego and stuff. But like, yeah, I'm a poker player and a poker teacher. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a like, I sort of accidentally became this. And then when I was working for sites, they wanted me to do a lot of stuff that's very like, I don't know, kind of corny. And
type stuff, videos
I wasn't really down to do it. And that's kind of why I got
reminds me.
well, I didn't sign up again with WPT.
Yeah,
because
making videos or whatever, short bit or you know.
They just wanted me to do a whole bunch of influencer stuff, and I'm like, I want to play poker and stream, and you can use the stream to promote whatever, but like, I'm not really trying to be viral or you know, I mean, like, I'm not trying. At least if it happens, cool, but like, I'm just gonna keep staying in my lane, playing poker, and get better at poker. Yeah. Anytime I've tried to go outside of that little box, like, oh, I'm a crypto expert, didn't go well. Yeah. You know, so like, I stick to poker, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool, but that's great too, knowing who you are, what you are, and I get that. It reminded me of that Mitch Hedberg joke, the one about how, you know, when you're stand up, you know, you work in Hollywood, they want you to write scripts. It's like, what, you know, writing a comedy script, it's kind of like doing comedy, but it ain't comedy, you know. It's like, it'd be like, you know, if they came up to you like, yeah, sure, you're a good cook, but can you farm? It's like all this, kind of similar adjacent shit, and it's just like, oh, I just want to focus on the thing I'm good at, you know.
I guess that's what it is. It's just like, dude, I don't have a production team. I don't know how to make these videos that you want. Like I'm like, if you really want me to make this certain kind of video, yeah, send your people over and I'll be there. I can show up, but like, I've, you know, never been someone that focused on content creation like that. Right. It kind of happened accidentally. I had a course, and the place that I had the course that I was selling through, they kind of shut down. And I talked to Jordan, and he's like, yeah, I'll sell your course, but you know what? Streaming's killing for me right now. And if you get on, I bet you can sell your course way better. And when I started streaming, immediately the first night I won the 500 on PokerStars for like 35K and had like 600 people watching. Hell yeah. And then like 2 weeks later, I was in 2 different 5Ks at the same time running deep. Both were $1 million for first, and I had 5,000 people watching. And it was like 2 weeks within streaming. And I was also putting out my product, the Apestyles bundle at that point, which just, you know, short course. And it started getting traction, and that started doing well. And then from the stream blowing up, that's how everything kind of popped off. But in the end, I'm still kind of just a poker player.
Yeah. And like, it's cool that people want to watch you play poker. And that's the sort of thing, you know, I could do. I've tried streaming, but I've disappeared for so long before coming back that it's like, oh, I got like 10 people maybe. Probably not.
It's not easy, man. Streaming is exhausting, even when it goes well.
I bet. Like, I don't mind talking to people, but it is like it's a whole other like performance on top of, you know, your performance at the tables, and I imagine that's, you know.
I think I've been trained for it because just years, like when we used to just all us poker bros used to be in grindhouses and play, like, you know, play in the same room together. And if you're too loud and obnoxious, or if you're too like I'm pretty good at just like, I guess people watch me because I'm pretty even keel. and I think I don't know why people watch me. I think hopefully it's because I'm good at poker, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you are. So.
I think I did get trained though during that time period, because people say like, yeah, I just kind of turn you on when I'm playing, and you're kind of like just like, you know, my poker buddy in the background just chilling, and I like that idea.
Yeah, that's cool. It makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it seems to be working for you.
Did you move to Chicago?
Denver.
Oh, Denver. That was like Chicago.
I think yeah. Did I say I might have? I might
No,
not be enunciating well.
I think. Okay, no, I think I heard Colorado, but in my head I was thinking, did I hear Colorado or Chicago? So what made you choose to go to Denver?
Well, in part specifically, I mean, one of the biggest factors was a really close friend was living here. He's not anymore, but I come visit him, you know, like once. I visit him like once a year before we moved, and I was like, man, it's really nice up here. So, you know, and it came to a point with certain other things in my life, and especially this was after I worked on the show and it ended, and I came back to Houston. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I need to get out of the situation. I find the city, you know, there's a lot I love about the city. I got a lot of love in my heart for Houston. It's sort of, you know, spiritually my hometown, if not technically where I grew up. But I was just like, I don't know, I'm stressed out. I don't really, you know, some parts of my social scene are kind of wearing and dysfunctional. It's like I need to get out of here and just go somewhere I feel like comfortable and I can be myself and come up here. And it's just like, yeah, it's even better than, you know, I thought. It's like I love, you know, we live just west of Denver, so you know we go east a little. We're downtown. We're in the city. We go west. We can get to like Golden. We can get into the mountains. You know, we got the best of both worlds, and it's just, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, I lived my whole life on the Gulf Coast. I had no idea how important that would end up being for like my own mental health till I was here. I was like, damn, this is great. Why did I spend like 20 years just when I could see nothing but concrete all around me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I grew up in Austin. That we actually, that's another reason why we met up, is because we were both in Austin at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, for a long time I viewed Austin as a home. But last time I went back, it just looked so different.
Oh my God,
and
I know.
the vibe was so different that I was like, I had a strange internal reaction to it, because I just used to feel very at home, and I used to know Austin so well, and it just felt like a different city with a different vibe to me. And yeah, like it's just, I'm just one of those people. I think everyone's like this. Whenever you're at a place when you know where you have good memories and then things change, you're always like, oh, things were better. But and now I'm in Portland, and my reason for being here is actually like kind of random. I lived in Vancouver, Canada, to play online poker, and once I got sponsored, I thought I could afford a house, and I decided to move to the place nearest to Vancouver, Canada. That was a city. You would say Seattle, but you can't play online poker in Washington.
Right.
So it was just the quickest way to get to Vancouver, being a city. And also I just found this beautiful house that has a view of just like majestic tree line for like, it just, you should come out. I have a whole guest floor, man.
Man, we want to. We'll find
you and your wife are invited, man, for sure.
We'd love to. So her cousin lives up there too, so we like to see him. He's a good people.
You should definitely come down.
Visit. That's gonna.
You have a place to stay for sure. I mean, like, you know, like not forever, but you know, like a week or so.
We'll come. You know, we'll come on a vacation. Like, I'd love to see it. I've still never been. So it's like, yeah, I got to get up there. I mean, I've been to Seattle, I've been to San Francisco, just Portland I've missed somehow.
Well, people talk shit. You know, it gets a bad rap, but to be honest, like people there were talking about how we were like a war-torn city or something.
Yeah.
Like, listen, when you go downtown, all you need to be armed with is like a French press. I mean, like, there's
nice, because you know, if somebody does get out of line, you can kind of clock them over the head with it. But
I mean, yeah, there's a homeless situation, but like I think the city, it kind of has a vibe that's similar to Austin back in the day to me. And it's kind of like this city that the 90s never stopped happening in this city. And I think it's cool here. And people who don't like it, good, stay out.
Right.
Um, don't do to Austin what you did to, don't do to
Right?
Portland what
Oh, it's
you did
all
to
the same, and it's the same
Austin.
people who like moved to San Francisco, drove up the price of everything, fucked everything up, and they're like, "Oh, San Francisco sucks now. It certainly can't be because of us. Let's go move somewhere else." And now they're doing the same thing to Austin, right? It's just like, guys, you are
All
the
them, it's their
problem.
fault. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's funny too. Yeah, I mean, I lived in Austin 2007. First time I visited was I think 99, summer 99, right before college. My brother was living there. And yeah, just seeing how much it's changed and grown out over the years. Even, even was it, I'm trying to remember because I know my first year here was 2019 and we went back for the holidays to Houston and Austin. I'm trying to remember if it was that trip or the next one. And it must have been that trip because I actually went back in 21 for my 40th. Where it's just like looking around from the last time I've been around, it's like, man, there's so much different like already. I mean, it's been a few years, but still, it's just like all these new places building, everything's building out. Stuff that was like out of town now is just like South Austin, for example. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just feels like where my favorite coffee shop was, there's a Jamba Juice. And
Oh
it
yeah, yeah.
just like
Didn't the
just a lot of that kind of
didn't the
thing.
Spider
And
House even close?
oh, did it? No
I don't
way.
know. I hope not.
Please no.
I heard that, but yeah, I know there's something else there now. Ugh, this is a few years
No
ago. I know,
way.
right? Like that's the sort of thing. It's like I
They had
never
the
thought
coolest
that place would close.
outdoors.
Oh yeah, that place
Yeah.
is great. Yeah, I loved hanging out outside there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have amazing
pretty
memories
sure.
of growing up in Austin. I was kind of a wild kid, but I'm kind of glad I was
Mm-hmm.
because I have some pretty fun experiences, I have some maybe not so fun experiences.
Sure.
And I got to see a lot of live music and meet a lot of
Oh
interesting
God,
people,
that's
man,
the
when
best.
I
Yeah.
grew up there.
Yeah.
So I definitely still view myself like ATX, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I used to really rep the city. Like it was I was considering even getting like a Capitol building ATX tattoo with
Yeah.
and shit. Like I'm glad I didn't. But I I now I just don't feel as connected to the city as I once did.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I actually kind of feel like Vancouver, Canada has become more like my home and
Mm-hmm.
mainly because for me, I guess my home is where like my group of friends that I feel trusted, that I
Yeah.
trust and love is, and that's where most of my friends are now. Is in Vancouver.
Yeah. That's really great. That's really cool. It's funny for me. It's I don't want to say the opposite, but it's like a lot of my closest friends are still back in Texas. So leaving that behind was hard. I have a few friends here, but there's really almost everyone has kids. There's really only one friend I get to see even like pretty fairly regularly. But at the same time, it's never far. It's like a 2 hour flight and change back to Texas if I want to see them or vice versa. And what I like to joke is, I'm a believer in the saying, wherever you go, there you are. Because, you can't just, I don't feel like you can fix all your problems by just moving somewhere and hoping that changes everything. But it's like, man, moving did fix a lot of my problems. Like, I wasn't nearly as stressed out anymore and just feel like I could relax and be myself more. And that helped me grow up more. I say grow, I mean, it's a never ending process, right? Even though I was 37 when I moved here,
I
I just
think
find the
um
balance of everything. I got
I
city, I
think if
got,
you're really running to escape something,
mm-hmm.
or you're a lot of times you realize, wherever you go, there you are. Have you ever read that book from it's John Kabat-Zinn?
I
It's
don't think
it's a
so.
meditation book. It's good.
Okay.
But yeah, it's sort of like it's well known with people within like with drug problems, for instance.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna move to this place so I can't get in trouble. Like I'm gonna move to even me. I was like I'm gonna move to Vancouver. It seems like a place it rains and stuff. I can't get in trouble. I definitely got in trouble there, and I ended up actually going to drug treatment in
Oh, wow.
Vancouver in like 2013,
Okay.
and that was part of why. Like, and yeah, believe me, if you're someone who likes to party and do
Yeah.
drugs, you can find it,
Right.
especially in Vancouver.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel. Yeah, I mean, I used to be like I said, like when you were saying about it's like I didn't get that what you were saying about Austin. I didn't get that where I grew up so much, but in Houston, certainly, we'd see some music. I knew everybody who could get drugs, and party. There's a lot of drinking in my hometown, and in college, but also, weed or whatever, but also people get like literally anything, coke, crack, speed, acid. I think heroin's just about the only one I never tried, but I mean, it's everywhere. But, over time, I kind of, I mean, I struggle a little bit too because, man, okay, so I don't know if I told you this. I moved to Mexico for a while in 2016 to play.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like 2 weeks in, I like blew out my ankle playing basketball, so I couldn't like leave my apartment for a long time.
So,
Yeah, it was horrible. It was like I couldn't get anything good out of it. It was terrible for my mental health to be in that state. So eventually I gave up, moved back, and yeah, well, I started like doing stand up and working in a bar there, and so in Houston, and when you work at a bar, people offer you drugs, and so it's gonna be tough to get away from that. But yeah, it's here. I mean, I made some changes to my life that really helped too. Especially, I started weightlifting, helped my mental health a lot more than I expected it to, not just my physical health. But throwing it back to the beginning of the conversation, when I was working on the True Detective, I worked a lot in accounting, so I was in the production offices a lot, and there's a lot of free food, and I'm sitting around an office all day eating a lot of good free food and just gaining weight. And then by the end of the year, I was like, man, I cannot keep living like this. I was like 270 something, and just like had trouble standing up under my own power. And I was like, I'm too young to be like this. Oh, I got to do something about this. So yeah, I was just like, what can I do by myself? Because I'm moving to a new city. I'm not going to know, like, what can I do on my own that'll help? And that's what I looked into, and it's been like, yeah, I feel a lot better. I mean, I'm still a pretty big guy, but I can move, I can do stuff like I want to. I feel a lot calmer, and that's kind of taken it. And some other mental health changes like this year. I've been, well, how much of the saga do I want to tell? So about my dad passed away about 2.5 years ago. That was stuff. He was one of the.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But he was one of the few people who was like 100% all the way behind me once he heard I was playing poker. So that was really cool. So we weren't as close when I was a kid, but as an adult, we became a lot closer and got to know each other better, and that was great. But the reason I bring it up is I started seeing a therapist afterward, kind of grief counseling. The first one I saw was great, but then I got another one, and he's been pretty great. I've been seeing him for about a year and a half. And that's helped me a lot, especially just in terms of not being too hard on myself, or, everything I could have done by now but haven't, or, all the money I could have made in poker but didn't, or, not living in like regrets of the past, or not berating myself for not doing things right or whatever, because like it's not going to do you any good. It's just going to hold you back and keep you there. But also,
That's true.
yeah. And also like medication wise, I don't know, I didn't really I tried antidepressants once when I was younger, didn't really take to it, but he recommended Wellbutrin, and that's just like been a huge difference for as far as like, at least me, like my more addictive behaviors, where it's like, I just, don't really feel as much of a compulsion to like need to get fucked up and so I need to not be sober in some way, so that's really calmed me down, and just, that's how
I love to hear that, man. For me, after I went to treatment in 2013, I actually had a really good counselor and friend there named Jess who would listen to me ramble a lot about everything and do the same thing that you were talking about, but sort of like get everything and then put it back at me. Like she reflected at me in a way that would help me see things better. And she also helped me have a lot more self-acceptance and self-love, and that was really helpful. I was sober for 9 years, man. And I fell off the wagon, and I've actually been off and on, and it's been a little bit annoying because I'm like, come on, dude, you're 44. Like, I need to get a hold of this.
Yeah, I get it.
Fact is, I'm actually probably gonna go again to some sort of residential treatment in the next like month or so.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like super miserable and out of control, but because I had a life event, man. Like I had a seizure. Like I had a seizure like 6 weeks ago. And we don't know why, but if I'm troubleshooting, alcohol's not helping, drugs aren't helping.
Yeah,
so like
for sure.
And I've been trying my best to like to stop, and having a little hard time with that. So I just need a break, I think. But I had a seizure, and like in my seizure, my shoulder the ball in my shoulder got fractured, and I actually dislocated my arm. It hurt like a bitch. But like,
Uh-huh.
and I woke up
Sure.
with like dudes in my office because I was in my office just doing work when it happened,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Who the hell are you?" And like, yeah, the so I've been healing from my shoulder injury. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting everything back. In fact, right after this, I'm supposed to go to my physical therapist. Um, and anyway, like I'm having a hard time on my own. Like I even got a
Mm-hmm.
gym downstairs like I can go to. But I'm having a hard time on my own, like
Yeah.
making the right choices. And I just need a reset. I need
Mm-hmm.
to get back into the routine of, you know, not drinking, not eating shitty food, not door dashing at midnight, not, you know,
Yes.
like
I definitely understand. I definitely understand. Yeah.
so you know, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
And
man.
like I kind of hate letting people know that like I'm in this sort of you know, purgatory back and forth place, and that I'm not, you know, in I'm not just like living my absolute best life at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like I also I think maybe if I share my journey and then like for instance I go to treatment, and you know that maybe that inspires someone to do something with their life, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better to be honest about what's going on with me than pretend like, you know, I'm just like killing it on all fronts right now.
Yeah.
That being said, I have to admit, the day after my shoulder, that shit happened with my shoulder,
Uh-huh.
was the first day of the OSS series in ACR,
Okay.
and I just went and played the next day because it was a Sunday,
Yeah,
and I crushed that day, even though
yeah.
my shoulder was killing me. And they had a leaderboard, and I was like,
Well.
and I had a friend staying with me who was playing a lot, and so I
Mm-hmm.
just decided to start playing. This is probably not what you're supposed to do after a seizure, but I played like 6 days a week, like 12 hours a day, and I won the high stakes leaderboard on
Oh,
ACR for
sick.
like an extra 15K. And like I don't know if it's degenerate or cool, but like I don't know. I was proud of myself that
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, that's great. I'm like, that's the fine line, isn't it? It's cool when you win. It's degenerate if you lose.
I think if it hadn't gone well, then I
Yeah.
probably like the thing about me, man,
Mm-hmm.
is that I played so much poker, and this situation was so sort of like mind blowing to me,
Mm-hmm.
like because I didn't remember it. It was just like all this shit happened out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, poker is normal. Poker to me is just like what I do, and I
Yeah.
when I played, I immediately felt more relaxed, and I wasn't like thinking about everything,
Mm-hmm.
and all I was thinking about was poker. And I find that I actually kind of get into sort of a flow state when it
Yeah.
comes to playing poker.
That's
So
great,
like
dude.
that's why I did it, because it actually felt right. It just felt like I was excited to play the next day, and I like stuff like leaderboards too, because it's like
Yeah.
um something outside of just money to track how you're doing, and something to think about and motivate besides like, you know, uh your
Yeah.
role.
Right. Just yeah. Just a goal to have to.
I've always liked it. I've always
Absolutely.
liked fighting for leaderboards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's my vibe.
Right on. I always, yeah, I'll admit I struggle with staying in that kind of mindset. Let's stay with poker. There's been times it's gone better than others. Like I got back in after some years off in like 2021 and was like, oh man, I have all this new stuff to learn. Because to be perfectly honest, I was kind of resistant to studying for a while after I won. Because it's like, well, I won. I'm a good player. I shouldn't have to learn anymore to keep being a good player. No, it doesn't really work like that at all.
Pretty
So
common.
yeah, yeah, and then I started playing bad because I was like, well, if I'm a good player, then I can play how I want to play and win, and that really doesn't work. Uh, but then 21, there's all this new stuff to learn. I was excited to learn. I have, like I mentioned, I think moving here and lifting and stuff, more, better mental health, more mental discipline, more of an even keel emotionally, and so that helped a lot. And I said haven't had the big one yet, but like it's nice. It was nice to like start learning again and start because there's all this stuff I didn't know, or all this stuff with when I stopped, it wasn't the solver error. I hadn't really started, for example, right? So like I had a lot to learn. Like what's the ranges? How do you balance these hands? What's the best way to do it? Obviously, you still adjust for who you're playing against, but just improving my baseline from just, well, I'm a loose aggressive player, so I got to play a lot of hands to keep up my, because that's who I am. That's my reputation. More
I
broad.
think I think being being loose aggressive is a good way to play, but I think doing it I think it actually kind of requires more discipline
Mm-hmm.
and knowing exactly how to loosen up with certain players and uh I also
Yeah.
think that this thing happens a lot where people, who are once good at poker are like, oh, well, everyone's studying, I'm gonna start studying. And then this thing happens too where people start studying where it's like different than the approach that they've been taking their entire
Mm-hmm.
time playing. And sometimes people actually have a period where they feel like they're worse when they study
Yeah.
because it's like trying to incorporate these new ideas with their game.
Yeah.
It takes a while, I think. And one thing I want to say too, though, is to not get too stuck in, oh, well, my range wants to do this here. Da, da, da. Like, think about the player you're up
Oh
against.
yeah.
Think about your experience. Think of, strength and weakness matters too, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
just trying to emulate a solver,
Yeah.
basically.
Especially. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Especially since I've been playing, I guess for the last year or so, mostly on Club WPT Gold. I like their games there.
Check out Coin, man. That's
Oh
actually my
yeah.
new site.
All right. Right
It's
on.
it's good, man. Coin's actually really sick. I would
Okay.
recommend it. I think you. I mean, if you not to talk too much smack about my old company, but come on, Gold has great fields, but their software is dust.
Yeah. I mean, but
And
yeah, the fields are nice though.
the
The
fields are
fields
great.
are
I
real
mean, and
nice.
no, yeah, I mean that's what really matters. But
Yeah.
like, Coin's blowing up, and
Okay.
like they've got like they just redid all their software, and it looks really good. It's clean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ape Code. That's the
Okay.
I got it. But I wouldn't
Promo
shill
in.
something unless I believed in it or played it myself.
Okay, right on. Yeah. But I brought that up because to your point about I can have the GTO ranges learn down well, but it's like there's so much shit players do, but in the games I play, that's like so far off the game tree. It's like, what are you gonna do with a guy who opens 4x or is c betting pot every hand, and it's just there's so much. Or he calls a raise and then he calls an early position raise from like middle position and then shows up with like 9-8 offsuit or something, and it's like,
Then
you
you're like, you're
adjust.
not supposed to do that.
Yeah, but like, yeah, exactly. You have to adjust for that. You can't expect like you're not playing another GTO. You gotta adjust. That's how I look at it. It's good to have like the baseline down with GTO, but you got to adjust to who you're actually playing. But if you don't know what the baseline is, how do you know how to adjust, or if you're making the right adjustment?
Exactly. The whole game is
Mm-hmm.
adjusted. Yeah, yeah.
Adjustment.
Adjusted. Yeah, I was like, adjustment. Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah.
Maybe I had like a little mini brain blip, but yeah, adjustment. And I'm almost never actually playing like GTO or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I got my baseline, and I'm like, oh, who am I up against? And I'm gonna
Right.
lean one way or the other.
Hey, folks. We had to take a little intermission here, so bear with us. This is where if I had some nice soothing music composed for the show, I'd put it in, but I don't. But we just took a little intermission, and we'll be back shortly with the second half of the show. All right. But you brought up a couple things that a little bit to back up a step when you're talking about streaming and stuff and talking and being honest. And it's like that brings up something that I think about too. Is just how much I value those things and how much. But I think about how much the internet is like a performance on some levels. How much of it people are like curating what they show the world or what they want to show from their lives to make things look better than they are sometimes or what have you. And yeah, I think it's just one of those things where I think being honest is the best way for me. The best way to go about it. It's like I don't like doing that stuff either. I don't want to have to I'm even remind. I mean, I'm reminded of a story going way back when I, this is okay. This is a little about my family, but like, I started blogging in college, like before blogs were even a thing, and a lot of times I'd write about what I was going through, and I was struggling with a lot, between like, yeah, like, just my general anxiety and depression at the time, coping, how I was coping with it, poverty from and not having like school books and shit, and eventually, like my parents found it, but their reaction was like, you don't want to write things like that for the public. What if, an potential employer sees them or something or whatever? And it's like, that's what you're concerned about? Like, that I'm putting out that curated face of the world? You're not even concerned about, like, the things I'm talking about that I'm going through that you want to help me with? And so it's like, yeah, I don't get that mindset, and that's why
Um, I get it, especially if you're in a sort of industry where
mm,
uh they have to present a face to the
mm-hmm,
world, and so they want
right.
their people to have a certain look. Uh,
But I was just, yeah, in this case, I was just in college,
and I mean, I
like, I
guess,
didn't know.
I mean, to some degree, everybody does that, right?
Sure.
Everybody is trying to put their best foot forward and not
Mm-hmm.
like, um, not trying to show you the worst parts about me when I'm
Of
making a
course.
video,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We all curate to
But
some degree, but
I'm never gonna do like I don't think I'm ever gonna do anything that really compromises my truth and my
mm-hmm.
personality, and um but yeah, I mean, I care what the public perception is of me.
Yeah.
um but I guess I just realized after all this streaming, because I'm just sitting there
Mm-hmm.
2,500 hours in of streaming, and I've been there day by day, and I kind of just, the way to stay entertaining is to just let my mind kind of just go.
Yeah.
And if I had to have all these like things I can't talk about or all this, like it would mess me up and block me up. So
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I just realized one day that like I'm enough. I'm not a bad person. Like I have like goodwill in my heart for others.
Yeah.
And if you know, if people don't like something about me, like it's not really my business to care much, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I got enough people that do like me too, and that's all that really matters, right?
Right. No, I totally
Yeah,
agree.
I used to think I was the kind of person that would like walk into a room.
Mm-hmm.
What I was the kind of person that if I walked into a room with like 100 people and 95 people liked me, I'd be trying to figure out why those 5 people didn't like me.
Sure.
But like, fuck those 5 people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. Like, I've come around to that too, because I probably wanted to be liked a little more than was necessary, but it's, gotten to the point of, especially like I said, since I moved here, I don't know, just more confidence in who I am and knowing that, not only my wife, but my like friends and the people who care about me, there are enough of them that do like me and care about me that I've been able to keep up with over the years. I have a lot, I feel like I have a lot more long-term friendships than a lot of people I know. And I think that's, hopefully the sign of the kind of person I am that, they want to stay my friend. And that's a good feeling. And so it's like, yeah, bringing back, and I probably brought this up last week, but who cares? Back to when my dad passed, it was the first time I'd gone home in like 4 years, and I don't really like going home because I don't like the way people act there. In short, it's a lot of
Yeah.
pettiness, selfishness, just being mean to each other for no reason, and just going
Mhm,
back
mhm.
and even at a time like this, they can't stop, at being like that. I'm just like, you know what? I'm over this. I don't need this. But there was a time where it's like I would have tried to, get along or bridge the gap or would have gotten to me, and now I'm just like, whatever. If y'all are still going to do this at this particular time, when I'm spending my last few days with my dad in hospital, then there's nothing I can do to get you to stop. So I'm just going to worry about the people who do like me and respect me and care about me and act like it. Don't just talk it.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too, right? In that
Yeah.
group of 100 people, my hypothetical group,
Mm-hmm.
how many of those do I actually like? Probably less.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
the other
But yeah,
that's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, that's the other thing. It's like I felt like I'm never going to be popular, but I get along with people well, and I have enough friends that I am very close with and have great relationships with. That it's like, and some family members. It's not everybody. I don't want to make it sound like it is, but that I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's it. I know who I am and that I'm liked, and people like me or don't. That said, there's still a little bit of that in me, but that's part of what I like moving to Denver. Is like I've just gotten a lot better at just chatting people up at like bar, coffee shop, or whatever, and people get to know me, and I like, whether or not we see them regularly, at least like to feel like, hey, if you feel a little better, I would rather you. I don't want you to leave a little small talk conversation with me thinking, man, I wish I hadn't wasted a minute on that guy or whatever. So at least try to engage people and be friendly and hopefully cheer them up a little.
Like, so it's about cheering people up, because it's like,
I mean,
I think sometimes my issue might be, well,
sometimes.
I get people like, because I don't like small talk that much,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like, so I often like notice that I just have these random deep conversations with people that are pretty intense sometimes, and I'm like, how come this always happens with me? And I'm like, I'm the common denominator here. It's
Yeah.
coming from me. Yeah.
If you have one deep conversation in the morning, you had a deep conversation. If you have deep conversations all day, you're the deep conversation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, can't we just talk about the weather?
Yeah.
We have to talk about childhood trauma.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I am pretty friendly, and like I like talking to people sometimes, especially if I'm going out and everything. But yeah, at this point, I know that, like, I don't have an agenda. I'm not. So if someone has some issue with me, like, I'll listen to what they have to say. But a lot of the times, if people have an issue with me and I didn't intend anything, like, probably on you, like, because a long time ago, I used to take things on when people would say, like, but a lot of the times I think people are kind of projecting on other people, like, their own things. I'm being too vague, but
no, that's fine. I kind
how
of
do I
get what
wrap
you mean.
this up? I don't know.
Well, like what I was gonna say, because I want to tie in a couple of things. When I said cheering them up, that might not be the right word, but it's like, if we run into each other at the line of a coffee shop and talk for 10 seconds, I don't want to be like, oh, what a dick. At least, like, get a little chuckle out of it, or a friendly smile or whatever, and then move on. But to your point, yeah, the agenda, I think that's a big one. Like, hopefully, I think people respond to me because, like, I don't really have one, and I genuinely like people and I'm interested in people. And like I said, especially since I moved here and made a bunch of changes, I'm pretty transparent about who I am. So I don't feel like I have anything to hide. Hopefully that makes people, relax a little more around me and not feel like, I'm trying to get something out of them, or like they have to hide something, or I'm going to use something against them later. Some of my folks were fond of
Exactly.
that.
Your agenda is really just having a connection with another
Yeah,
human being in the moment, and a positive connection. And
exactly.
I actually believe that, and this is some hippie shit, but like, I actually kind of believe that
That's all right.
when I'm going around and I'm in a good place and I'm engaging people, that and I give people a positive moment, even like the store clerk,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's going to boost their energy a bit, and they're going to give someone else more,
Yeah.
and like, I do actually believe that kind of thing can spread, and you can actually put people's, either you can also spread the other way. You can
Right.
go in there, be grumpy with the person making your sandwich or whatever, and like,
Mm-hmm.
you can make their day shitty, and then they're going to be grumpy to the next person. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that it actually, there is an effect there that I don't know if that's the ripple effect exactly, but it sounds right.
Kind of, it's similar. Yeah. I think it's the same thing. What you do passes on, in the world some
Yes,
way or another, beyond you and beyond the immediate thing. And that's, yeah, I think something worth keeping in mind. Like, that's why I try not to, yeah, I just try to, well, I don't know, I try to be nice to people because I like them. But yeah, I try to think about that. And again, going back to not giving up, but also, yeah, that's a good point. And I hadn't even really thought about it in that way, but it's true. Like, yeah, if I'm, friendly to someone and it picks up their mood a little, maybe that improves the rest of their day, or they pass it along. And that's another good thing. I think. Oh, there was something else I was. Oh, not taking things personally. That was another thing you mentioned. I think that's been a big improvement for me. And again, talking about that visit down there, why it didn't bother me. It's just like I've come to know, the more comfortable and confident I am in who I am and that I am who I want to be, the less anybody has to say bothers me, because it's like, if you have a problem, you don't really know who I am. So,
Absolutely. And like even with my ups and my downs,
mhm,
I don't know, like I've done enough and uh done enough work, I guess, on myself to where um I do have self-love. It's hard to even say though sometimes, like
mhm,
that whole idea of I love me some me like feels arrogant, but that's
yeah,
actually not like really what it is. It's more about
yeah,
having that love within you
mhm,
and and appreciating your life and others around you. And I do try to live like that.
yeah, and
And if I have enough of that in store, like stored up,
mhm,
somebody tries to come in and bring me, negative energy or say something to me. It's like, you know, it's this gift they're trying to give me and I don't accept.
mhm,
Like
yeah,
and I just am like, kind of stole that from a Buddhist story, but like, uh, the idea is just that's your shit, man. Like the stuff that you're doing right now, that's you. Like it's not
yeah,
gonna have any power over me.
exactly. Like that's how I was feeling with some of those visits, because like I was there like twice for 4 days, and each time I had like four different things that happened. I was like, Jesus Christ, this would have really can't believe they're acting like this, and this would have really pissed me off. But I'm just like, now it just bounces off me. I'm just like, whatever.
I mean,
You're dealing with your
with
shit.
your dad passing and everything, it probably
Yeah,
hit you even harder though
yeah,
too, right? Like you're
yeah,
going
and
through this and then like they're being petty and you're like, what the hell?
yeah, it's
But
like
yeah,
y'all can't put that aside even at this time. One of our two parents
yeah,
is dying, and y'all can't. So that's frustrating. But like I said, the negativity just kind of bounces off me. And oh shit, yeah, what you're saying about self love too. Like I think I 100% get you, and I don't think it's arrogant. One thing, two things. I think one in brief. I think especially online. There's a lot of people use self-deprecating humor, and it's like that could be fine once in a while, but like if you're constantly running yourself down, that's not good, and you're going to start believing that stuff. And for me, especially I mentioned my upbringing, just finding a sense of like self worth and value and like the confidence to like stick up for myself was really hard and took a long time. And I don't tend to give that up for anybody, you know? Um, the other, yeah, the other thing is, like to say, about self love or whatever, is like, if you don't love yourself, if you don't respect yourself, like how can you possibly expect anyone else to? And that's the other
that's the
thing.
idea behind it, right?
Yeah.
And it, I don't even know why the idea of it sometimes like sounds just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
oh self-love, but like it's actually I think the core of everything. I think
Yeah.
that if you don't have love and respect for yourself, you don't have that to give. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just the reason to feel that way. And the other thing is I actually am someone that takes on like I feel guilty over things I don't need to feel guilty about sometimes. And I
Mm-hmm.
am really self-deprecating. And I know the reason why. It's because I want to say it before you can.
Yeah.
Um and it does get laughs,
Mm-hmm.
if you do it in the right way. And I think I've been told actually I do it a little too much though, and like it does weaken your position
Mm-hmm.
if you have a position and then you kind of like make a joke about yourself at the end or whatever, and it just makes it yeah. I think that it's overall it's probably not a good thing to do
Mm-hmm.
too much, just like you said.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for me to stop it though.
No, I get it. It can be a habit. It's like, yeah, but yeah, all our habits take some unlearning. It's like, yeah, but if you make yourself the butt of the joke, and not like that's what people will see you as, and I totally get
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and I went through that a lot more when I was younger, and I think finally, I'm in a better place now. But it's yeah, I totally get like the mindset and where it comes from. Just wanting to do better
Absolutely.
and
I think,
not being
yeah,
sure.
just being sparing about it is important. I mean, I think it's also important to be humble and
Mm-hmm.
um, I I was just thinking about like how like poker, like having a poker mind, in my opinion, or like anytime someone tells me something, it's probably obnoxious that I do this, but if you tell me something, I think about the opposite. I think about other angles. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about whether or not like I don't just accept things that people tell me very
Mm-hmm.
easily, or no, I do, but like I'm evaluating.
Yeah.
And same thing with when I speak. because like sometimes I'll try to make a point, but then I'll be like, well, then there's this other side, and it actually,
Yeah.
like I uh I think too much, and I definitely have a overly analytical mind that thinks like about I think about like systems and big things like too much, and just like ignore what's going on in front of me
Oh yeah, yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
Sure, I
My
get
whole life
that.
I was too analytical, and then
Yeah.
I met poker players.
Yeah, which is perfect, right? No, I get the same thing. Thinking systematically, pattern recognition, cause and effect, kind of like that's how I think, even about, stuff in like the world at large is like, how do we end up here? Well, it's because of this and that and the other thing that comes from the other.
Can't really help it. That's just the way my brain works,
Oh
man.
yeah, same
It's
man.
always been like that. Yeah.
Oh shit, I had something and I should have taken better notes. I had something in response and I totally blanked.
It was kind of funny though, because like my whole life, all my friends were like, "Dude, you just think too much, too analytical." And then like I met like poker players, like like Ike and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh
Oh
wow!"
damn.
Like,
Now I feel like I don't think enough. Shit.
I'm not analytical enough. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's like, yeah, I guess that's part of what. Oh, I remember now. But yeah, it's like that's part of what I like about poker. Is both like, it rewards the analytical thinking, and it was a great way to meet other peers who do the same. Even in college, I knew a lot of smart people, but not many of them thought like I did. And a lot of them thought different, and we're a lot better at things I'll never be good at. But at the same time, oh, you said humility, and that's what I wanted to tie this back to the beginning when I said my optimism. I think some of it, requires a certain humility, just like that. When people say, oh, well, if I do this, I'm not going to make a difference. One person can't make a difference. And it's like, how do you know? How can you be so arrogant as to say you can't make a difference?
That's pretty good. That's an interesting.
Like,
yeah.
You don't know. So just like do what seems, do the right thing and see what happens.
I like that because is that thought could be mistaken as humble, but it's not. Yes.
Right. That's certain. No. Yeah. That's that. Yeah. That. Oh, I can't do it. That's like that false humility where it's like, oh, you're what you're kind of really doing isn't humble it up. You're kind of trying to get other people to like pump you up, or you're fishing for that kind of validation from them when you're like, oh, I'm not that good. It's like, oh, yeah, you are, blah blah blah, or whatever. Where it's like,
I think like I can't tell you that I'm genuinely good at very many things, but I will not tell you that I'm bad at poker.
right.
Like, I believe when it comes to poker that I'm an expert on poker. I've spent my entire life studying it, and we can talk about any aspect of it, and I promise you I'm familiar.
Yeah.
And
I think the evidence is in.
But anything else, like even like politics, anything like that, I'm not the one to listen to. I'm not that read up. I'm not the expert there. I'm like elite at one thing, poker. I'm good at a couple other things. Like, I mean, I'm pretty good at chess too, but like, not like I'm like 1900, 2000-ish, not like masterish. But yeah, that's what I always tell people. I'm like, listen, everything else is an opinion on poker, though. I pretty much stand behind it.
Yeah.
Now that being said, we were talking about this. I think part of why I'm still here is because of the ability to hear a logical argument against what I'm doing, like with a student or whatever, and be like, shit, you're right.
Yeah.
And actually change my opinion when I get new evidence or a good argument. Right.
Yeah.
I think being flexible like that has been really, really helpful.
I think that's super important. Yeah. It's staying open-minded, especially because you get older. I feel like it's harder to do, it's easy to get set in your ways, and the youth's coming up and all their slang terms and whatnot. And you're like, this is what the fuck. But, even if you don't go around saying 6, 7 or whatever, you got to at least, keep an open mind to like get, everything about the world, that maybe you don't know everything, especially because the world's constantly changing. I
have a theory that like once we start saying stuff like 6, 7 or lit or whatever, that's when the shit's dead.
Yeah. It's like, nothing will get kids to stop using slangs like their old, like their parents and uncles and whatever. Picking it up.
That's how you kill it, man. Yeah. No, I definitely tried to avoid some of the things like because I was like, I noticed my parents only liked music from like when they were like young.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stick with music. I'm gonna keep listening to new music, which I kind of have.
Yeah. It's funny. I've been.
But like,
you go ahead.
oh, like, what are you saying?
Oh, just about music. It's like I've been back and forth because like I love music. Music's one of my favorite things. I listened to it, as much as I could growing up. Get to college, getting all the 60s, 70s stuff, even 80s stuff I missed at the time. And then like after about 2010, for like that whole decade, I don't know, I couldn't find anything new I liked. Nothing new was sinking in. I'm like, shit, have I just gotten old? Am I not? But then in like the last like 4 or 5 years, I've started again. It's like, oh man, it's great. I love music again. I don't know if it's moving here or cyclical styles. Like there's a lot more bands making the kind of music I like or what, but it's interesting. I always loved it, but then when I stopped really getting into new stuff, I was like, oh god, maybe I am getting old. Maybe this is what happens.
It's the side of it.
It's nice to know that's not.
It sounds to me like you're actually in kind of a new beginning, like a new sort of this might even be too much, but like you're young, you're kind of like doing your own sort of like emotional rebuilding, rebirth kind of thing, right? Where so I think it's never really too late to do that and have an open mind. I think most people with music, they kind of associate music with like these certain times when they were younger, when they were with their friends, and that's the music that they love. And I do that too, of course, but like I still like listening to new stuff and like knowing what's going on makes me feel real hip and cool. And but like I am trash at video games though. When I was younger, I was pretty good. The Super Nintendo. I could play the Nintendo 64. I could play some Bond pretty well.
Nice.
But these days, your average 8-year-old could beat me at most video games. And I just don't have time to. But I mean, I like them, but like I just don't have time to like get good at every new game. Like
right.
And I still don't know how to use half the remotes in my house. So I definitely have gotten like old in some ways and old and stubborn. Like, and I tried to be old and stubborn about Twitter and everything. Like every single social media account I have, someone else made. Like, because they were like, dude, you need one of these. What the hell? You need to get one. And like, I'm like, I don't want to like twit or whatever. Like, what is this? Like, And I'm glad they did. It ended up being a good thing for me. But like, I was always very stubborn about social media and things like that. So it's pretty ironic that I ended up being someone who's kind of like, known on social media somewhat.
Big streamer, big online presence. That's funny. I adapted maybe a little too easily. I mean, we were one of the first schools that got Facebook, so it was like all our friends like, oh, check out this new thing, blah, blah, blah. And we didn't know what it become, especially now when it's just horrible.
Like what?
Facebook. I said, my college was one of the first places to get it. So, I'm hearing from friends that are like, oh, come on this, sending me invites. Look at this cool new thing, blah, blah, blah. And we didn't know what it would become, especially now when it's, just almost impossible to actually see what you want to see. And then like with Twitter, it's like, oh, I actually have gotten, people have good jokes. They share good articles. I actually learned some things and get some good laughs. Or at least I did, I don't use it as much anymore, but so like there's some things you can get from them.
I think you can curate your own experience a little bit with social media. It's there. It's good to use it. I think one of the coolest things about it is like if you read a book that from like a not super well-known author and they're on Twitter, you can literally message them and maybe get a message back. I mean, that's what I think is kind of cool is that there's access to a lot of different minds there. Unfortunately, I usually leave my Twitter experiences feeling a little bit depressed about the state of the world, but like I use it now, and I'm definitely not acting like I'm better than. Like I definitely, it's actually part of my it's growing those things is actually part of my business now, right? But it was something that I wasn't really about, and I was definitely kind of just being a stubborn old man about. I I can see little signs of being of getting like that. And I don't want to be like just it just seems like as you get like my dad, for instance, you get kind of stuck, it
Yeah,
seems like, in a certain way. And I don't want to be like that. I want to
right.
be kind of growing and changing and learning.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And like same here. And I think it's so yeah, I think it's so important to not grow. And I think that speaks to what you said a bit ago about like that second rebirth. It's like I kind of feel like that too, which also makes it terrifying when I stop to things like, oh man, I'm gonna be 50 in 5 years. And I'm just now like getting that sort of yeah, like you said, rebirth kind of becoming myself. But it's like, hey, you never know when it happens, and you don't know what's. I mean, I'm glad it happened, as opposed to not happening. Um, but yeah, not staying a good example. Yeah, I have a ton of nieces and nephews, but I have one who's like 22, 23, I think. Graduated from Dartmouth a year or two ago. Just finished like making a short film. So it's like, yeah, she's young. I don't want to be like, oh, these kids today, but she's obviously very smart, talented, driven, and so like we chat about that and like what she's doing and what she wants to do. If she wants any advice or she or trade music sometimes or whatever, because I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm listening to that's new, we should dig that. So it's like, yeah, just staying engaged and not being a fuddy duddy. And I try to do that too. I guess I try to be the kind of parent or uncle I wish I had, whereas instead of a lot of the children are to be seen
Is
but
that what
not
you want
heard,
though? Are you
or
trying to be a parent
I don't
eventually?
know, maybe we've talked about it a bit. We still got a little time. It I feel like a lot of it depends on whether I can get in a place, you know, that I feel like stable enough to do that and to take care of a kid. And also, I feel like I have so much else I want to accomplish, and I'm like, that's probably going to have to come first. So I need to figure out what I'm comfortable with and what I'm comfortable setting aside if I want to do that. But we'd be good parents, I
Yeah.
think. So,
Well,
and I do have
yeah, man.
like
I'm
16
kind of
nieces
just
and nephews
like
already. So,
I don't know. There's probably not much chance of there being many little baby Johns running around
sure.
in this world, but it could happen. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I Yeah, all I know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have quite a few friends who are parents, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen some research on it, and your average person versus a parent reports higher daily levels of happiness
Mm-hmm.
than a parent
Yeah.
that has young kids. But the parent reports higher levels of satisfaction with their life, where they are. Um, but I ask my friends like what their favorite thing about having children is,
Mm-hmm.
and they all mentioned that their favorite time, pretty much all of them said, is when their kids are asleep, how beautiful they are. And I'm like, your favorite time
Oh.
of parenting is when your kids asleep. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
fun. It's like you don't want to, yeah, none of the stuff with the personality or anything, just the sleeping. That's so great. Yeah, and it is weird because, like, if I'm being honest, I don't really like babies. Like,
they freak me out.
yeah, they're just crying like shitting pissing machines, kind of, as far as I can tell. And but once they're a little older and they start to have personalities, I can really connect with them. And again, like just well, like I said, I have 16 nieces and nephews. I don't get to talk to all of them that regularly, but it is like, like how many of them are like five or six of them? I think the sixth oldest one is like a senior, just finishing senior year of high school, I want to say. So it is like now, especially now they're getting old. It's like I try to be there for them, be supportive in the way that I wish I had, or like we've talked about with some of our experiences as youth, being there to advise them through maybe any mishaps they encounter or any
You're the
unfortunate
cool uncle. You're
drug,
the cool
alcohol,
uncle.
legal. Right? Yeah, but it's like I don't want to. I wish I had someone I could just talk to and who wouldn't judge me and who would like help me figure shit out. And so I'll try to be that for them.
I think that that's a great perspective to be in, and one that I actually just try to be in. I mean, like, if we're just talking about emotions and where you're at, like, I'm
Mm,
actually almost never going to judge somebody for how they're feeling,
yeah.
in general. Only thing I might judge is just, like, shit that hurts other people. But you know, otherwise, like I'm
Yeah.
like I like that mentality of the cool uncle. That's what I'm down to be. Just a
Yeah.
cool uncle.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and the kids need it too, because you know, parents put a lot of their own, their own ideas of their success on what you do,
yeah.
and parents are almost always, not non-judgmental, right? Like,
Yeah.
they judge everything, right?
Sure.
And so I do think it's cool to have someone in the family that they can talk to that is a bit more open and chill. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Just someone who's not,
Also, back to babies, man. Like, I have
Yeah.
so many friends like sending me like right when their kid's born,
Uh-huh.
and like it's like this red looking, and I'm like, and then I'm like, so cute.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. That totally doesn't look like a giant raisin you left in the sun too long.
but but hold on though, like at the same time, I read this book called Scientist in the Crib that it's about linguistics, and it's about everything that a baby has to learn to go from nothing to understanding all the laws of physics around us, all of the to be able to understand the tones of the language, and then to be able to learn a language from scratch is actually very, very hard to do. Like we can't do it anymore, right?
Yeah,
So it's
I've
like,
always been. It's one thing I've always
so
been terrible at.
it's quite impressive what kids do. Like we're talking about what their brain actually is capable of. Kids have better brains than adults do. Like kids have actually brains that absorb more, can learn more.
Neuroplasticity.
They just don't have enough in there just yet,
Right.
And there are some things that are underdeveloped, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But even baby talk in different languages sounds like in different cultures sounds different because they're actually making the sounds of the language that they're trying to learn.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess I never really. That makes sense, and I was like, I never really thought of that about that. So that's cool.
So that kind of would help me a bit more with having a baby, because I'd be looking at I'd be interested in their development that way. And also, I'm sure that like when that little ugly raisin is yours, it looks really beautiful
Oh, I'm
too.
sure. Like that's one thing I see. It's just like the connection they feel is so different than. So that's cool. And,
I've seen it happen. I've seen people who are like pretty gnarly people, like guys who were womanizers and who when they had a kid, like even before the kid, they were like really trying to get this girl to get an abortion, and then when they had the kid, they just turned her like super dad, and it was like something happened. You know what I mean? Like, so I do think that there's this a thing that can happen if you're there, where there's like imprinting on you, where it's like you get hit with something when you see your child. Sometimes it may happen, but it doesn't happen with everyone, I don't think, but it does happen a lot. This idea of imprinting.
Yeah, I imagine so, and like that's sort of the. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, I imagine so. And there's like something I think about, I guess, is, I like to think I'd be one of those dads if it came to it, but it's also like, do I want to change my life that much? Or, I have friends who, I have friends with kids, with several kids. I have other friends that have like none and know they're not going to. And, it's like maybe they don't feel that, or maybe, I'd like to think I would if we had one, but it is like.
See, if I do it, I would like to think that I do it well.
Yeah, of course.
But my mom says I wouldn't be very good at it because I wouldn't be a good disciplinarian. Like I have a cat and a dog, and I let my cat pretty much do whatever. And like my mom gets mad because my cat's clawing up furniture and shit, and I'm like, she's a cat. I'm not going to try to make her not be a cat. Like
you can't sit the cat down and explain to them that like the furniture needs to be preserved.
I just spent so much money on the new couch though that I actually changed my opinion there. I got water pistols.
You know what?
I got water guns. If she tries to scratch it up, I'm like yeah. For a while I was cool, but this new couch you can't mess with, kitty. But yeah, I've got enough to handle with my two animals.
Sure.
Actually, they're obviously different, but I don't know. I feel a lot. Animals for me are they just looking at them kind of makes me like feel that sort of like love feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, animals. I mean, I'm just sorry. Dogs are better than kids.
I love
It
dogs.
just
So yeah. You know, I've been looking at getting a dog for a couple of years. I just, especially, I've been, working from home. I mean, since COVID, whether it's a job or poker or whatever I'm doing, it's always been from home. It's like, yeah, I just want a little buddy to come hang out with me while I'm working and shit.
yeah, yeah. Taco, like I don't let my animals in my office because they
Mm.
like the cat just jumps up on the thing too much. And but Taco, my dog, is super chill. And he's just a little buddy, man.
Yeah.
What kind of dog would you get?
Honestly, I'd get something small, like something like I don't know, some kind of terrier, or schnauzer, or something like that. Like we had it for a little while, actually, when I was in high school, a little Yorkshire Terrier, and I don't know if I get another one of those, but it was great for me because he's always happy to see me, and like I'd be on my computer, just come sit in my lap, hang out. It's like perfect. That's
I like little dogs, and
yeah,
I feel like especially in Texas, when people would like, if you have like a little dog, who are like, like, oh, a
yeah, of
little
course,
dog, like, where's your pit bull? And I mean, I like pit bulls too, but like, I'm just saying that like,
yeah, all that machismo
I
shit.
like a little dog. They're easy, they're chill.
Yeah.
And my dog's a goofy, like he's a Papillon and a Corgi, so he's just like
Okay.
a little hot dog with ears, and he's so
Yeah,
not athletic at all.
I
But
could totally see that.
yeah, he's super chill,
Yeah,
doesn't bark.
that's great. Yeah.
And anyway, I like little dogs. I like
Me
big
too.
dogs. I like animals though. Like
Sure.
people always, choose like, oh, cats or dogs, little dog, big dog. I like animals.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, that's great. I tend to like dogs more, but I'm also kind of, allergic to cats. So it depends
Ah,
on the cat. We did have one. Geez, back when I was back in Houston, like 2008, 2009, my next door neighbor, buddy from college, had a cat who was very chill like a dog, would just come over, like hang out with me, sit on my chest or whatever, like just chill. Like sometimes take a nap with me and shit. It's like, all right, yeah,
that's what my
a
cat's
cat
like.
like that, I could get by. I was still a little allergic to her though, because like, she'd sleep on like my chest while we were napping, like wake up and have a little rash. Like, damn it. But it wasn't like, I've also known like I got friends who got like the long hair shedders. It's like I can't be in your house without like a large dose of
Yeah, I
Benadryl.
think some of them are like hypoallergenic though, right? Like
Yeah,
if you had a cat, you probably want to try to get one that's hypoallergenic. But
exactly. Yeah, it's
um,
not every cat, but
my cat's like a dog, and my dog's kind of like a cat. Um, my cat is like super friendly, just plops in anyone's lap, like,
hmm,
and
that's cool.
loves to have her belly rubbed. And my dog is friendly and likes, but
Hmm.
like doesn't like women that much
Mm.
and doesn't like other dogs.
Huh.
Like he's like uh other dogs come up to him and he just growls or ignores
Weird.
them. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is, but yeah, Taco runs this block and the other dogs know it.
Nice. It's funny because like yeah, I like the both, but like sometimes, and obviously not you here, but like there's some cat people who are like, oh, you like dogs more. What you need an animal to oh, so it's you need an animal to give you unconditional love all the time. Or whatever. It's like, well, I fucking take care of the thing, so it damn well better, I'm like, why do I want a pet that just like regards me with disdain? Like, I don't want that. Like, whether it's a cat or a dog, yeah, I should be excited to see you. We should be pals,
Well,
not just
it's true
having to
though that like
cohabitate.
I got my cat right after my first time streaming.
Hmm.
It was actually crazy because I was in those two 5Ks like I was talking about. It was day
Yeah, yeah.
2, and I was supposed to adopt her, and I have to keep calling them at day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 to be like, I can't pick it up. I can't pick her up. Because I had these streams.
Right.
And then on the final day when I busted everything, I was so exhausted after just the intensity of having these huge streams. And I made one file table for like, I mean, it was not that bad. I got like 100K.
Not that bad.
But like, I had huge stacks in 2 tournaments where it was $1 million for first. So it was pretty
Oh,
exciting for
yeah.
me. And I wasn't like upset. I was just exhausted
Sure.
after. the adrenaline rush. And then I finally got her as a kitten. And then when I got her the first night, I don't know, she just fell right asleep on my chest.
Yeah.
And I was like pretty emotional, exhausted. And I don't know why, but like I kind of started crying, like not like ugly crying or
Sure,
anything, just
sure, but
like I just was like, and it wasn't, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but I would call that moment with me and her kind of like imprinting, because
yeah.
I actually like kind of fell in love with my little kitten in that moment.
Okay.
And uh because of that moment, she's probably like the cat I'm like I feel the closest to of any cat I've ever, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That
sure
makes
someone's out there listening to this laughing at me, but
no,
it's
that
just the
makes perfect.
truth. I
It's
really
true.
love
You know, if someone's
it.
whatever, man. No, it makes perfect sense to me. Like, yeah, you can. It's okay. So, yeah, you make an emotional connection with something, and yeah, after a hard day, a long day, maybe there's just something our walls are down or whatever, and you're not gonna get any.
Exactly. That's what it was. It was just like my walls were down. I was just like, and I was just relaxing, and it was just, I don't know. She was just super cute and relaxed
Hmm.
on my chest, and I just kind of fell in love with her.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's probably a good thing to feel about your animals that way. You know,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that you're supposed to love your animals like that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I think, it's okay. Yeah, and it's good to like even if, like you said, it's good to be in touch with your emotions. Like none of this oh shit. What I'm sorry. I, I screwed up there on my computer for
what
a
you
second.
doing?
Sorry, I screwed up and like switched the window went to the wrong window by accident. Yeah, and I think it's good though to be like in touch with your emotions like that, especially, there's this old the old mindset, where like being a man means you never talk about anything, you never feel anything, and then you just, push it all down with steaks and whiskey and die of a heart attack at 46 or whatever. But it's like, it's not healthy to live like that. It's not good for you or the people around you. It's like, so it's okay
I
to,
agree, man. I grew up in Texas around,
mm-hmm,
like you did, and I know that if it wasn't said out loud, it was definitely subtly reinforced that like showing any kind of emotion
mm-hmm,
as a dude was was considered weak.
mm-hmm,
And I put on this like tough guy face for a while,
yeah,
and pretended to be this guy that wasn't scared of anything, and I would fight if I had to, and all this stuff. And it
mm-hmm,
just like uh really damaging, actually.
yeah,
Because it really cut me off from being able to have real connection with people, because I wasn't being myself. I wasn't saying what I'm really going through or anything
yeah,
like that. And then one of the better parts about my adult life is realizing how weak those ideas are about
mm-hmm,
manhood, about like and that there are a lot of things that, well, traits that both sexes can have, of course, but
mm-hmm,
like, like I do, you know, believe in, like, of course, like courage, hard work, all this kind of stuff, like good traits.
mm-hmm.
But pretending that you don't have basic human emotions that everybody has is lame
Yeah,
and fake. Right?
yeah,
That's
exactly. Like it's just not the case, and it's like you see that now a lot of this, and the manosphere or whatever. How like their model for they tell that it's about getting women, but it's not, and it's not what women like. It's they just pitch the same thing with no emotions, and it's about this like need to dominate and prove how dominant you are than it is to actually like relate to other people or be someone people trust or feel safe around, or what actually attracts women and doesn't just impress other guys who also believe this shit.
I'm actually really glad that there's not as much of a like I'm an alpha dude movement, as at least I don't see it as much
Yeah,
as I used to.
I think it's
Because I would just
hopefully
read it, and or like people who were trying to be alphas,
yeah,
and like how they intimidate and dominate the room and shit. And I was like, you poser, like I would just laugh at you if you
yeah.
walked in with that attitude.
It's
Like,
like
come on.
it must be
Like,
exhausting to put that on all the time too. It's like
yeah, most dominant
and even the
everywhere I go.
whole idea of alphas is like a misunderstood like study of wolves, where it's like wolves really are pack animals. They only, what they start, if you put them in captivity in an unnatural environment, then you see some weird shit. Yeah, but that's not how it actually sorts out. And but yeah, to what you're saying, because I want to back up for a second about my upbringing was kind of similar, but also for me just like I don't know, I didn't have a lot of people I could trust. If I ever express something or some kind of vulnerability or sincerity, someone would try to find a way to use it against me or make fun of me or whatever. So I just kind of walled up for a long time, and that was a lot to get over. I didn't, you know, college helped a little, but it didn't really start till kind of a little afterwards. I mean, maybe when I started taking acid, but putting that aside, it's like, yeah, I just had to learn to let that, like, not, even if intellectually, not everyone else is like that. It's, you still got to unlearn what you learned, and that's can be hard.
I agree. I also think some things like hit you harder than
Mm-hmm.
they were meant to be. Like my guy relationships are still a little bit like this, where we basically put each other down a lot. Like we like, but like,
Mm-hmm.
in a joking way. And so like,
Yeah.
but certain times I think that like, you know, someone tried to mean something as a joke and it hit me in a certain way, or like when I
Yeah.
was open. And but also just that kind of dude bro behavior, like I probably don't do as much anymore. Like
Mm.
a little bit of teasing and making fun of each other is
Yeah.
fine. Like but like constant all the time, just
Right.
like just kind of lame, dude. And I I also like certain things like I was a hairy ass kid. Like, I'm the ape style. I
Yeah.
actually, I got the name because my friends started like actually using it to make fun of me because I had my shirt off when we were on mushrooms, and apparently I morphed into an ape.
Ha.
And like they were listening to this Cool Key song called Sex Styles, and
Oh, cool keys,
they just
great.
were like, after he said I morphed into an ape, they started calling me Ape Styles, and it was kind of to make fun of me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, that's kind of tight. Like,
Yeah.
I like I'm gonna roll with it. And
Yeah.
my friends who made it up, when they see like me now, they're like, "Do I get any piece of this?"
Yeah. Come
I'm
on, I
like,
helped you with
"Nah,
that.
man,
That's great.
no sir." Um, but yeah, like
Yeah.
I but the point I was trying to make though
Mm-hmm.
is that like people would point out things, and it
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily mean that they're like, "Oh, it's terrible," but like I took it as like, "Oh, I don't want to take my shirt off." Oh,
Yeah.
but uh, I'm a hairy dude.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like it, some people don't. Uh, but like it's just how my body is. And
Sure.
I had a person recently who just like kept commenting on it when we were outside, and I was like, I'm sorry, I look like more of a man than you. And like,
Oh, it's
I
pretty
don't know,
funny.
because he just
Yeah.
kept commenting on it.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
had
No,
something
it's
to
weird.
say.
Like that's the thing. Yeah, with people, and I think you see a little immature. Like I've, some of my friends, will bust each other's balls and stuff, but it's always out of love, and it's never, we never harp on something. Like I feel like there's a line between just, cracking jokes about each other out of love, and then there's like picking on something someone doesn't like about themselves, or something that, or continue to harp on something because like you think it's weird or you think they should feel bad about it or whatever. It's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's an art to ribbing and giving each other shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's that you do it about things that aren't actually sensitive for the
Right,
most part,
right, 100%.
right?
Yeah.
Because uh, and in my opinion, if someone like tells me like, hey, like I'd rather you not like make that joke or
Yeah.
whatever, like I won't. Like I'm not gonna keep saying it. That's the other thing is because like my intent is really just for us to be laughing and joking back and forth
Yeah,
and connected.
exactly.
Um, I used to talk a lot of shit, and I was told quite a few times, like when I didn't actually mean to, that I hurt people's feelings. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually like kind of reined it in more. Man, I have to run in a couple minutes because I
Okay,
have
buddy.
my shoulder. Are we?
Yeah. Oh, we got
Is
plenty.
it a
This is great.
2 hour podcast? Is that like the?
What's that? We don't have to go through it.
It,
Like anything over an hour is good for me, but we just the last two we just kind of kept going because we're like, oh, we have more stuff to talk about. We're gonna go till we're like bored, or one of us has to
it,
leave.
yeah,
So
well,
yeah.
that's what we're running up
All
against
right,
right
man.
now. It's been a nice
Yeah,
conversation. I don't think we
absolutely.
talked about poker at all.
No, that's great.
Um,
Perfect. Like terrific. I don't want to be talking. Well, we can, come up new strategy, whatever. But it's like, yeah, this is what I want to get into. Like, who are we? What do we like? What's important in life? And what do we think
I
about?
think that's a good niche. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of poker podcasts where
Yeah.
maybe you can add a little bit of poker in or not, but I think that it's a nice niche to talk more about what's really going on in people's lives.
Yeah, I hope so. You heard that, listeners. So tell all your friends. If you're on video, you can see the Patreon address below. So sign up. Patreon.com/Captain Nath.
Well, hey man, it's been a nice
Yeah.
nice conversation. Good linking up with you again.
Yeah, man. Totally.
Check out bbzpoker.com
Okay. Yeah.
and Coin Poker, Ape Code, Apestyles on all the socials and all that. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, please do support John. And man, it's been a pleasure. This was great. It's exactly what I was hoping for, man. So it's great to talk to you again.
Awesome, bro.
You take care. Get to that appointment.
Hit me up, man. Let's stay in touch.
We'll do for sure.
See ya.
Bye.